The chair is against the walls. The chair is against the walls. John has a long mustache. John has a long mustache. It's 12 o'clock. Right now, I gotta feel the day closer to victory. And for all of you out there on or behind the lines, this is your song.
And welcome everybody to our Daily Gun Show. We come to you live every night at midnight Eastern. It's 9 Pacific for about an hour each night. We'll do 3 gun-related topics each day, different topics throughout the week. We pick those topics on Monday with our audience. So if you'd like to be part of the show, as far as picking topics, let us know on Monday or anytime during the week with email. And we run it live on YouTube. We simulcast it over at gunchannels.com, where we're watching the comments from the people that are showing up live. We're also simulcasting on Instagram today. Got a couple of people out there. We have, I guess we take the audio, we post it over on iTunes. So we appreciate the people that listen and watch the shows in the future, especially those that take the time to give us thumbs up. Let us know you're out there. Subscribe to the channels and write comments. Not because we care so much about those things, but the platforms that we post these shows on do. And it's those actions that let the platforms decide what to recommend to new listeners. And that's what our goal is, to get more listeners. So we do appreciate the people that help us with that by doing those things. We've got hosts. Bob's jumping in from Canada. Thanks for joining.
Hey, hi. How's everybody going?
And then we got Jimmy jumping in from Phoenix.
Hey, what's up? Good to be here. Thanks.
I'm down here in Tucson, and we are on episode 486. No, get right. 485. So tonight's Friday. We'll be talking about gun tech, the gun business. We usually like to solve the gun business every week. And then we talk about alternative topics. Before we dig into all that, we usually take, well, I don't know. Are we taking a break? Do you have anything to say today? No. So we're going to move on to
we can skip the break.
Yeah, we're going into gun tech. And how many gun materials can we ID? This kind of works with Clover's chat a little earlier. Actually, we're a little late tonight because Edge 4006 is over live right now. So if none of these topics seem interesting to you or you just don't like us, go head over to Edge. You're going to like that show. He runs a show live on Friday nights. He's been a guest this week. I think he was a guest this week, and member of the Gun Channels team. Anyway, they're talking about Glocks tonight, and I just left listening over there, and they're complaining about plastics and stuff. So I guess it kind of falls in line with what we're talking about tonight. Have a little bit of a theme going on this evening on Gun Channels. We're talking about how many materials we can identify. So it doesn't really matter how many me or Bob or Jimmy can come up with. What we're really asking is everybody out there watching, how many gun materials can we come up with? I know that Cycle Camps already got bismuth. So
there's only 2 proper gun materials, and that's steel and wood. So, argument done. There's only 2 real gun materials. The rest of them are, you can make.
It's because you don't want innovation. Like, you just don't want technology to evolve. You just want to sit around clubbing things and smashing things and eating things without salt on them or something.
Yeah, basically.
It seems not very interesting to me. Kind of boring, and so I don't understand that philosophy for sure. Jimmy?
What kind of materials would it take to make laser guns? That
Probably
would be me.
Plastic,
some batteries, probably.
some kind of battery, yeah. Unless we use crystals. When are we going to harness the power of crystal energy?
There's plenty around too. We got crystals laying around.
Like a wave of negative vibes to Bob, and every time he starts talking weird about olden days.
No, I'm just saying that the real materials you make a gun out of. I mean, all the other stuff, yeah, they work, blah, blah, but they still have to have some steel in them. And yeah, it's blasphemy. It's wrongness. I don't like to even think about those kind of guns. I mean, they're okay to shoot and everything, but I don't like to think about them. They're, I don't know, dirty somehow.
Just saying, they're doing crazy stuff with like carbon fibers now, all different types of materials. I mean, they're making some innovations.
They put that shit on cars too, and that's all wrong.
Yeah, I saw that.
Cars should be made out of steel and wood, rubber tires.
That is the best material, Soviet steel. I guess Bob would be all right with that. He pledges his allegiance to international leaders.
I actually prefer Canadian steel. We got a higher nickel content. It's actually a lot stronger.
California is insisting on brashing on shit that happened over on Edge Chats. Don't worry about it, dude. There are no rules here. Do whatever you want. It doesn't mean you're gonna make everybody happy with everything you say. So, done. Now I'm deleting that comment too. So, kyber crystals are what the Jedis use for their light swords.
They're not real, right? Whereas we do know that they did originally use rubies in red lasers. And I think that'd be cool. If you're going to have a laser gun, it should have a ruby in it and shoot a red laser beam.
Let's see. Zamac, that's one. That's an actual material. Plastic or metals are going to be the primary gun materials for years to come. That's from Rich. Finally, Voice of Reason returns. Easy.
Oh, snap. What's up, Z?
Aloha.
So
Hey.
we got Z jumping in, co-host of the show from Hawaii. Thanks for jumping in.
Thank you for the invite.
So we're talking materials for guns. So we've got so far steel and wood. We got plastic, of course, and then Zamic. But there's got to be more than that. Like I think Jimmy said, carbon fiber. You know, we make
Yeah.
carbon fiber handguards.
Well, and anybody say aluminum?
Not yet, but when we were talking about materials in Clover's chat, I mean, aluminum is pretty abundant in this planet.
Yeah, aluminum is one of the more elements.
Well, I mean, also that there's already guns made out of aluminum, right?
Oh, for sure. I think aluminum's a neat one too. As I go to like factory tours and stuff, and you know, they'll usually talk about processes or things or what makes their stuff good, and the ways that you can fiddle with aluminum. I mean, there can just be like plain old aluminum. There can be good aluminum, and then there's like aircraft aluminum. Like they really, they know that material backwards and forwards. They can make it pretty deep.
A lot of different formulas for how hard you want it, how flexible you want it.
Yeah, exactly. And it seems like a pretty, like you're saying, it has a lot of characteristics that have a spectrum. So you can use the same material to do different types of things. I guess springs aren't good in aluminum still.
No, you still have to have the stuff that has the right, I don't want to say rigidity, but like breaking strength. And I think those springs are an excellent example of that. Especially if you're applying heat and pressure.
Oh, you know what? Steadily saying there's a Russian homemade Glock from pressed plywood and resin, but that makes me think of that guy made the AK out of a shovel. That spade, where you folded the spade handle as a stock. I guess there's improvised materials. Potatoes is saying scandium. Who was it that doesn't like scandium? I think that's Edge doesn't like scandium.
I think you are correct because he had the company that's not in business anymore. I think they made what the hell's the name of it?
I wanted to say Para. Is it Para?
Yes, I believe so. And I don't know if that's like the same scandium, whether it's, like the chemical makeup scandium, like it's scandium number 1 as opposed to scandium number 3,570. My revolver's made out of scandium. I haven't had any problems, but I mean, then again, I haven't run thousands of rounds through it yet, but I'm working on it.
There's knives that when you sharpen them, they get harder. Aren't there ways to make metal whereas you explode something in the chamber, it stays strong? Like it, they put the grain or something around it or something so that they can.
Like tempering, kind of, you mean, or
I guess I don't know. I'm not.
Or hard, or like case hardening, or applying the heat to the metal.
What was case hardening all about? That was just to do a surface coat so that it wouldn't rust, or was that to change the characteristics of the whole steel?
It makes the steel harder on the face, so it makes just kind of the outside layer of the steel hard.
So that was more of like of the time, right? Like they didn't have the technology to make all hardened steel, or maybe it cost too much or something, and then they would just harden the parts that are necessary, the outsides.
Right. Yeah. It was just a way to make it cheaper, but still looked cool and gave it a finish.
Well, and then I'll give you that, but and if it hardens it, then you're making a less stronger metal alloy or steel into a stronger one, so that your finish is like you just said, it's harder on the surface. So, you know, you think about back in the day, they didn't have Teflon or what's the Glock one that they used to have that I don't think they do anymore. The finish. Jennifer. You know, like they didn't have that stuff. Well, they didn't. I don't even really know if they had. When did they start bluing stuff? You know, late 1800s maybe. So it may have been a necessity, I guess, perhaps.
Yeah. Well, they've been doing bluing a long time ago. Pretty much since they started making guns, they figured out how to blue them.
Well, I made a mistake.
And figured out like, oh, look, when I put my sword in there, it turns all black, and now it doesn't rust so fast or something.
Yeah, basically, I think that happened with armor too. Because otherwise, can you imagine like how much you had to polish armor?
I don't know. That'd be cool. I've never seen a blued set of armor. That'd be kind of neat.
Yeah.
You talk about armor, and Jimmy Leeds, he doesn't like armor.
Well, what about something that may be too expensive to do on a massive scale, but you know they made those 1911s out of the stuff out of that meteorite.
Nice.
Yeah, but that's just steel. That's all, or iron, really.
Iron, yeah.
Yeah, but from outer space, iron.
And
hello.
Iron's from outer space, right? Everything's from outer space at one point.
Iron that wasn't steel, right? So strong enough iron just came out of that meteorite, I guess. They didn't make a barrel out of it.
Yeah,
are you talking about that $4 million 1911 or whatever?
Yeah, I think they made the frame.
Yeah, I would put that out there.
But yeah.
Well, and like, why don't they make stuff out of titanium? Or do they? I don't know that they do, because that to me be something that's probably like a $1,000 handgun or something like that. $1,000 handgun.
That'd be something neat.
Perhaps titanium is strong. I'm sorry. Is it possible that it would be plenty strong, but perhaps too brittle?
Well, that's the thing. I don't think titanium is the perfect steel because it's
really hard to work with.
Yeah, but it does have some neat characteristics.
More like working. You go.
I'll just say it has some neat characteristics, like as far as transfer of heat. Like you can hold a titanium spoon while it's in boiling water, and you don't need like a rubber thing on it. Like it doesn't move heat, so that's kind of, I don't know if that would be an advantage or disadvantage in something like a gun.
Maybe you guys probably already hit on that point just a second ago with it just may be not conducive to either mass production or the manner in which people, you know, make firearms or whatever. Because I may be mistaken, but isn't it a similar process to making titanium to making aluminum with like electricity and stuff? Or am I totally wrong on that?
I don't know.
No, I'm not 100% sure on that, but I know that if they use titanium, it would be a lot more expensive.
Yeah, I think there's less titanium.
Oh, Garand's ball bearings for sure. Yeah, so maybe instead of a $5,000 gun, that's like a $15,000 gun, and
oh yeah,
that's a limited market.
Steadily saying that Tinifer is a hardening process, not just a finish, or not a finish.
Gee, do you remember when they stopped using that Tinifer?
What?
Do you remember when they stopped using Tinifer, by any chance?
When they started making them in the USA, because we don't allow that kind of crazy chemical stuff here. We
okay.
Whatever. So they came up with what? He said it in here, melanite. Potatoes Ascending wants to just mask.
Right, and melanite.
Oh, got a lag or something. Go ahead with melanite.
My barrel on my rifle. It's not chrome lined. It's melanited.
Which rifle?
Yeah. My M&P Sport.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So it's Wesson M&P AR.
Yeah, and it's like the older one. It's not the 2 or the second batch of the first ones, because it still has the R8 or what is it? 1-in-8 twist R5 rifling on it and stuff like that. So like that melanite finish on there was I have it wrong. Maybe it's the outside, and I'm totally just jacking the situation, which is entirely possible.
Dudley's saying Tinifer ingredients are banned in the U.S. because they're drug precursors. I didn't know that. So they're wiping Glocks in drugs, boiling it in drugs.
I guess that could be a thing.
See, I always thought it was something about the Tennefer process that
I
got
mean,
banned in the U.S., but I'm probably wrong.
That's what I thought, because it's too chemically hazardous was what I wrong all the time.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I heard.
Aren't Glocks all covered with drug dust anyway because they're always used in crimes, much like $100 bills will always test positive for cocaine?
I was gonna say that's $10 bills, but that's only because you only need one bill in a stack of bills to start wiping it all over all the other bills. I don't think it's because everybody in the country's doing cocaine.
Well, yeah, just people are just playing with their Glocks and all them wrappers. Imagine how many Glocks they buy and they just lose and end up alone on their streets there. So you never know.
Potatoes saying with a Damascus steel gun or even a knife, they did make barrels out of Damascus. Kind of. They smashed wire around rods, I guess, back in the olden days, and that's how they made shotgun barrels. So you can get basically Damascus steel shotgun barrels. That's where you don't want to use modern shells in them.
Man, I swear somebody made a 1911 with in the Damascus style. I swear.
Jesse James?
I've seen pictures.
Was that Jesse James?
It may have been. I don't know.
I mean, you could.
But I swear I've seen a picture.
Yeah. Just a matter of making up the block in Damascus steel and then cutting your parts out of it. So it's not that hard to do. Like, I mean, I've got that Damascus knife I got from Huck, and that thing's just a work of beauty. All right? It's gorgeous. But, yeah, it's not the kind of knife you'd carry because it's, just too, I don't know, valuable or fragile. I don't know. You'd really call it fragile, but, yeah. I don't know. Damascus is just one of those things you really got to take care of it. It'll start to rust if you just look at it funny.
That's true. They're saying that Cabot did the Damascus as well as Jesse James.
Cabot's the same one that did that meteorite one.
Have you seen the
I
case?
think you are correct.
I was just looking at the case for that meteorite gun for some reason the other day, and it's the dumbest case I've ever seen. It's like glass and it opens from both sides like a weird space thing or something.
Yeah, it's supposed to look all futuristic, though. It's a meteorite.
Oh, well, exactly. Williams got a good one that none of us remembered without looking at the chats. What are we missing? It's Bob, old-fashioned material. Bob for guns forever without looking at
brass.
All right. Yeah, I forgot about brass. Yeah, that's definitely a good point.
That is, yeah. I hadn't really thought of that either. No, not until you mentioned there was something else. As soon as I thought that, it's like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, and sometimes that was necessary. Like I can think of the Thompson, 1928 Thompson. I think there's a couple of levers where they use the brass on metal as a lubricant. Like
no, that's what they were trying to do, but it was the Blish device or something, and it just turned out it wasn't really doing anything anyway, so they just deleted it.
Maybe, but at least there's that concept back in the day. They were trying to operate without rubbing two dissimilar metals against each other. I guess was supposed to provide a different type of.
Well, it was supposed to lock up when it got to a certain pressure or something, just like a lock device. But I mean, yeah, it didn't. I think that's what it was supposed to be, but or it was supposed to delay something. I don't know. It didn't turned out to not actually be needed. Wasn't actually doing it. So it was just one of those things that they speculated this would work, and then they built it in, and they went, "Hey, it works." Until they, used it a little more, and then they figured out, no, that didn't.
Well, I'm going to suggest this one went a lot further than I thought we would go. So whoever came up with this idea, thanks for that. It's a good one. We usually get our topics on Mondays, like we said. So if you want to participate in creation of the show, give us a topic you'd like to hear us talk about or have people discuss. And you can do that on Mondays or anytime at our email, dailygunshow@gmail.com. Feel free to write us anytime for about anything. We're always looking at the email. But I'm going to suggest for time we move along. And if we miss something there or have a topic that would be cool to spin off on that, like I say, let us know. And we'll be happy to throw it into a future schedule. So that means we're going to move on to the gun biz. We're going to talk about SHOT Show again. And before we do, we like to take a break between the first and second segment of the shows each day to feature one of the members over at Gun Channels. Gun Channels is a community we built a while back, 4 years now, and it's completely run by its members. So with that in mind, we feature one of the members, and today we're featuring somebody, a blast from the past, so to speak. One Bad Marine, one of the guys that helped kind of create the whole thing in the days when we were all chatting on YouTube chats. And financially, he's helped out a lot. And just in participation, he created the concept of the lobby where we all get together and just chat basically 24/7 at this point. So I think there's a heck of a lot of One Bad Marine in gun channels. Hopefully he'll come back sometime.
Hell yeah, that's a hard-working fella right there.
Yeah, he was traveling a lot with work, and I think we were a good kind of way to pass the time for him. He had a lot of fun chatting and hanging out and seeing the community develop. And I know he's into fishing a lot, so I know that he's still out there, but I guess he just doesn't have the time he had when he was sitting in hotels like he did. But all worked out for the best. I think he's doing good.
Sure looks like it. Yeah, he's had some
I think so.
Pretty cool fishing adventures, that's for sure.
Big fan of the One Bad Marine. Good guy.
You ever around, Jimmy, when Marine was around?
OBM, man.
No, I had just missed him apparently because I was hearing about him a lot, but I never met him.
Okay, he hasn't been back too often. For a while there, he was like Flath, where when he had a chance to jump out and do some kind of on the road work, I guess he'd jump in, intermittently. But yeah, it's been less and less. Anyway, gun channels, check it out, and we'll keep moving on to the gun biz. So we're going to talk about SHOT Show 12 through 14. And now we're in the realm where I'm guessing you guys were paying attention to SHOT instead of like we started out in 2005 when I started going as media. And then we've kind of done groups of years here. SHOT Show moved from being like wandering or whatever you'd call that to sitting in one dark dungeon, and that's the Sands Convention Center. So 2012 through 2014 were just boring years during the convention center, but the advantage, I guess, of having us go to the same place and everybody being in the same booths is that we as at least as media, people who try to bring the show to everybody out there in internet land, we started to learn the floor plan better and meet people and whatnot. And YouTube was getting really big in 2012 through 14. Obviously, the whole bullshit happened with Sandy Hook in the middle of all that. But with that in mind, what do you guys think? What do you guys remember from 12 to 14 coverage and just stuff from SHOT Shows?
I think that's when I really started paying attention to what was going on online with guns and stuff. So,
KSG.
I was pretty impressed.
The Utahs.
Yeah, I think the KSG came out there for sure in that era.
And then the Utahs was another one I was thinking, just from these years in particular. It's when I started to understand more of the gun industry in general. Like originally, I figured it was just like a wish book from the Sears catalog on Christmas or whatever, and it kind of is, but it's not really though. Show in general now, it seems like it's that and then more. Now it seems like there's way more stuff happening on the periphery, like whether there's more external groups having their after parties, or you know what I'm kind of saying, like there's didn't they drive a tank across something last year, the year before or something, like
well, that was at Field Vegas that one year. I don't know if that was last year. I think it was a couple years ago. That was when Rick was live at SHOT in the cab with a bunch of people, right? That was 2 years ago.
Yep.
His first year at SHOT. We're talking about Big Gunner 81, who does a show on Tuesday night. He went to SHOT for the first year 2 years ago, I think, right? Or is it 3? 2?
I think so. It was 2.
That probably was 14. So yeah, I think that was 14. That Battlefield Vegas started in 15. So no, it would have been 15. Sorry. So in 15 he did that. So you can talk about that next week.
Okay.
But no, I think you got a good point there, and that's a valid point. I mean, I can't suggest I knew all about every after party or every secondary event or anything, but yeah, they were definitely few and far between. I can remember a couple that we attended earlier than this, in like the last year at the convention center, for example. They were invite only, and had to get passes and stuff. And now, with more and more people probably wanting attention and not getting, I think it's because they don't get invited to some of the after parties. More and more people just started their own after parties.
Yeah, and I would agree with you on that thought process right there. If you're not going to invite me to your party, well, I might as well just throw a party myself. I'll invite all my friends.
Exactly. And that's the thing. They were
Which-
inviting a bunch of friends that weren't getting invited nowhere either. And then that starts a new thing. And that's what it's kind of all about, right? That's what the industry is. A bunch of people that are into hunting and stuff. Why would they invite a bunch of people that are into plastic guns, right? Bob's never going to want to party with a bunch of plastic gun people. So it would be, you would expect it to, you know, new stuff to develop. The Instagrammers all hang out with each other now.
Oh, there you go. Gee, think about that. Hey, what are we doing? 2012 to 2014, right? That's the one we're doing right now. When did Instagram go crazy on SHOT Show? When was that?
I don't think Instagram went crazy till 15, or am I wrong?
No, you might be right, because Instagram was still sort of new. I don't want to say it was really new, but I was just late to the party.
I know my Instagram started in 14, and then, you know, I did some at SHOT. But the problem with the Instagram at SHOT back then in 14 was that we didn't have coverage inside. We didn't have access to internet inside the main room. So we'd have to go upstairs to the media room to get some decent internet. So I think that's probably the next era, is when the booth started to provide a little bit of internet occasionally. But I would say that 12 to 14, you look at it from that angle, was also the opening up to internet as media. It definitely took a little while to break that ice. And then once we broke the ice for a couple of years, I'd say the breaking the ice years were like 12 and 13, I guess. And then what are we talking about again? 12 to 14.
12 to 14.
13 and 12, it was definitely like an early 12. People were willing to let you do booth reviews, and they were digging it. But there wasn't infrastructure to do anything about it. And then I would say 13 and 14, phones got better and internet got better in Vegas, I guess. And we could take a picture, run over to the side of the building and post it on Instagram or something. So I'd say the end of this era, 12 to 14, I think we definitely saw.
Did you say earlier that Sandy Hook was in 13? Sandy Hook was in 12?
December of 12, the after effects were in all of 13. So the SHOT Show 13 was a somber situation.
I would think so. Like, everybody a little nervous, kind of don't know how the industry is really going to go, because there was so much pressure. So much pressure.
Well, if you remember, Obama did his 23 points or whatever.
Yeah.
During SHOT Show. So they had that happen happened as the event was live. So everybody shut up and they put big monitors up and everyone watched it at the show. Like it was important to the industry.
And then threw rotten vegetables at the screen?
No. I wasn't in the building when they did that. I was upstairs, I think, or something, but I heard that that's what they did. So it was definitely an interesting year. And I think that more resolve. I think there was a somber resolve that.
Oh yeah, there was definitely a just like whether it was, you know, like gun channels or the gun side of YouTube or whatever. There was, I remember, dude, it was a whole pulled together. We're all gonna get together. We're all gonna move the piece forward, so to speak. And it was that fear of getting it taken away, in my opinion, is what so many different parts to make it whole, to fight. So I imagine that was some crazy stuff. I mean, if you count on SHOT Show or NRA for your yearly commission check or something, or, you know, you have somewhat of a smaller business, maybe where you make specific parts for something and they have been utilized up and through this time, you're wondering, you know, is my little parts business going to have to fold up because all this craziness that they're trying to talk about at the top, you know? I imagine, like you said, somber was probably pretty accurate.
Yeah, you know, that was the beginning of this whole thing. We're sitting here now, wow, 6 years later, and it's easy to remember what it was like, but try to remember what it was like in 12. We didn't have that experience of 13 yet. So I don't think I think you're going a little too much with 2020. It didn't seem to me like people were scared of their little businesses or anything. I think it was, you know, we didn't know what a ripple that would make. That was literally, as he was saying, the 23 points. There wasn't enough time we didn't know, when we anticipated something was coming, I'm sure, but there was no way to anticipate that it would have been what it was, and I don't think people had a time to get that deep into thought about what the repercussions might be. So I think it was, like you say, it's an industry event. That's when little gun shops go there and see the new products. They make their orders with their distributors, and the distributors are talking to the manufacturers about what's coming and how many they're going to anticipate ordering, so they know how to move them out. So there's lots of business going on that needs to take place. That doesn't matter if the place is on fire or underwater. It's going to still take place because that's where those businesses make. It's when everybody makes their deals and things and makes their orders. So I think it was a little bit more business as usual. There wasn't a lot of slap-assing, but after that,
was 14 the SIG brace then, or am I a year ahead at that 15? When was the SIG brace thing?
I'm gonna go double check because that was the next one,
because that was huge. Yeah, that was. I mean, we had already had the 7N6 by that time. Then it was the SIG brace, and then it was the M855 or whatever. One right after another, like each year. Oh no, we're just gonna throw a monkey wrench into the gears here. That's what we're gonna do.
It says that the stabilizing brace became an accessory and whatever. In 2013, the stabilizing brace was named the Firearm Accessory of the Year. So I think it might have come out in 13, and then that would have mean 14 is when they would have made their dumb ruling, perhaps.
Right. And when was the year that you unofficially got to talk to the ATF guy?
That year, because they did that on Friday.
That was that year. Yeah.
Yeah. That was the was it 14 months? Weird trying to think back to stuff. But yeah, whatever year that was Friday before SHOT. Literally everyone was traveling because SHOT kind of starts Monday, and that means people get there Saturday and Sunday. So on Friday night, people were literally leaving. Well, we did a chat that night about the repercussions of that letter, what it meant, and then Saturday we did an 8-hour chat live all day just to be open, just to have an open room available for anybody that needed to catch up from if they were traveling and they just came out and they saw the news and they wanted more info, and then basically so that we could gather questions. And then we took them. Me and Haas went over to the Haas USMC and me went over to the ATF. They wouldn't take any interviews with film that year. And there was definitely more commotion around the ATF booth that year than there was pretty much any other year, really.
I think they're trying to tell us that it may have been the 15 was the no shouldering of braces, but then that means it would have came out in 14. So we're still kind of.
The brakes came out in 13, no shouldering. If it was 15, it was whatever the Friday is before SHOT is when the decision came out. So they really like to throw decisions about firearms out right at SHOT Show. We kind of saw that more than 1 year in a row, or not in a row, but more than 1 year at a time there. But yeah, thanks. If it was 15, then we're talking about next week's stuff again. But still valid. We're talking about SHOT.
So if you can remember back, G, you went to all three of those, 12, 13, and 14. A favorite item, perhaps, out of any three of those? Like, if you can remember back for sure, anything like that. Because it seems like we had some innovative stuff coming through down the pipe during that time, right?
Mm-hmm. I think Smith
relatively
came out during then, and I like the idea that Smith kind of gave Taurus another jab back at stealing all their stuff. I don't remember when the Taurus. I posted a picture of that giant thing. Was that 12? I posted on Instagram. I can't look easily. I guess I can look easily.
Taurus what?
I don't know what they called it. I forget what they called it, but that big stupid, almost it's like a 410 revolver.
Oh, the Judge.
No. So here I'm going to.
Or the public defender, or the circuit judge.
Go the other way. It only hit the floor for a few days. I guess this was 12. So.
The raging judge. The raging judge.
So this was a regular judge in 410. This was I guess maybe it was a 45. No, it was a 28 gauge judge. That's what it was. So it was just. Massive gun. So, companies will put things out to see what the response is because it's an industry trade show. So if they want to get feedback. They can get honest feedback from shop owners and manufacturers and, I guess, other manufacturers and then distributors on what may or may not sell or what looks like a good idea or not, and what if they should pursue it and that kind of thing. I think that was what this was, sort of an example. From what I understand, it was on the floor for a few days, maybe a day, and ATF had some issues with it, and they took it off floor.
Did the ATF happen to, you know how they like to write letters and stuff like that? Did they happen to write a letter about that specifically, or they just said you can't do that because it's a short-barreled shotgun? Or
Oh no, it had something to do with it was too big a caliber, but I don't remember if there was any specifics given other than like, did anybody see that thing? Because a whole bunch of people had not even seen it.
oh, I'd like to shoot that one time, and probably only one time. Oh, probably only once.
I think these were
28 gauge, just to shoot a 28 gauge pistol, just once. That's all I need.
well again. I don't think that was even a working gun. I think if I remember right, it was just a mock-up sort of, without like even a firing pin hole or anything. It was just to see if people thought.
Oh, literally, it's just a frame and a grip,
Yeah,
basically, relatively speaking.
Yeah, I don't keep track of all that stuff, but there's been plenty over the years where there'll be like a weird, interesting gun there, and you've seen them, and then it never shows up again ever. So, you know,
There's definitely been that happen.
it was I think one of those kind of things. So yeah, it was 12. So yeah, I mean that was one of the things I liked. Yeah, I'd have to think of it. There's been all kinds of neat things for sure.
Well, I was just thinking because out of all of us, I mean, granted, Bob's been there a couple of times, but he wasn't there in 12 through 14. So
I think Bob started going in 15.
Yeah, 15,
because he's only been
yeah,
twice, right?
15, 16, I think.
So Steadley's asking, is shot known for booth babes? If so, are there more or less each year? He's asking for a friend. So yeah, booth babes would be, I would consider them the models or whatever you call the girls and the good-looking girls in Vegas that are at every
Spokesmodels, yep.
You know, they're going to be standing next to a car next week, and then the week after that they might have skis on, and the week after that maybe they're, I don't know, hostessing drinks at a, you know, real estate thing. Who knows? But they basically live.
Oh,
in
never
Vegas
forget the boat show.
do that, whatever you call that, you know, spokesmodel or whatever kind of job. So I would consider those booth babes. But then there's the gun bunnies that are running around doing their thing. So yeah, the idea of having a bunch of boobs sell your stuff is going away, just like in regular stuff. You see less and less of that kind of stuff because there's more.
What about the Red Army girls? Where do they fall in that? Were they legit, or were they eye candy, or somewhere in between?
They have nothing to do with Wolf. They're just hired models. You can follow them on Instagram. They're nice girls that do all kinds of modeling, from like rap videos to modeling clothes and stuff. And
Oh, so that's just their deal. Okay.
yeah, they come back year after year to Wolf, so they must hire them to do it because they know what the job is or whatever. They know the gig. But yeah, they're there for like signing posters where they were, you know, they took a picture of them in a bathing suit with a gun or something. I know they're to sign the pictures, but they're not there to like talk to you about guns or nothing. But anyway, I think those things are definitely, you see less and less of the girls with the boobs hanging out. I think it's mostly because there's just more and more females going. Female gun shop owners, they're not going to be impressed by that. Right? Female gun owners, they don't really care for that kind of stuff. So
Probably not, unless that's their trip, which, you know, that's okay too.
yeah, I don't see any outcry against it or anything, though. It's just that, you know, it's the tastes or whatever.
Well, I mean, other than the objectification of women or whatever, right? Which is probably why, to your point, that there is slightly less of that
Like,
as the years are moving forward.
If the idea is to have a guy come over and take a look at the booth, then they're only catching half the people, right? But if you have somebody there who knows what they're talking about, then maybe you get more people interested. Not really sure. You still see some people that have the hot girls walking around, though. All right, so did we calm down? We're not seeing any other stuff, nothing on a gun channel. So
Okay, I got one more question.
Sure.
12, 13, and 14. You said that the media room or whatever started to improve.
What? No, I never said that. Did I?
Oh, well, I thought you were saying that they provided internet.
Oh, no, that's the infrastructure of the world improved. The media room has always...
Okay. But I was going to ask about which out of 12, 13, and 14 had the best commissary or what the hell do you call that? Like cafeteria type stuff. You know, whether it was the donuts or the cookies or the sodas or whatever. What was your favorite year of snacks at SHOT Show?
Oh, they're always the same, so nothing has changed there. It's just mainly if you happen to get into the room before all the other people eat them, kind of thing. If you're talking about the media room, so there's not really much food to be had at SHOT. The buffets, though, whenever we started hanging out, where we have been hanging out for years, there probably was 12 or 14, and that's really close to a $7 breakfast buffet, which had been well, up until this year, because of Bob, has been a one of our things that we do. We'll probably still go there. Just now we have to drive an extra mile out of our way because of Bob. But
oh, I thought you were saying he got you kicked out or something.
no, luckily not yet. They're Vegas, you know, they're used to internationals. They're used to the way Canadians eat.
I guess so.
But yeah, I don't really think there's too much food there. At some point, they started seeing more and more beer all the time, and that's interesting. Like at first, I remember whatever year it was it might have been in Florida. Like they did SHOT Show.
Booths, though, right? It was the people in the booths having the beer, right? Not like there's
like Benchmade would have beer, and like somebody else would have beer, and then you get like a Benchmade glass with the beer in it or whatever, and you could go back and shoot the shit and drink all the beer you want, basically. They'd have little signs up, but I think it started really, or I don't know when it started. SHOT Show's been going on since the 80s. I don't know. But and my first experience was in Florida. I'm pretty sure that year was the same time as this, what do you call that sports game? The football one?
Super Bowl. So is that like the
like
9 or something, or 10? I don't remember when you were in Florida.
Oh, year in 2009. So it was on the weekends back then. Like SHOT Show was Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and it quit being like that when I moved back to Stupid Sands. So it was, I think, because of the Super Bowl. Like there was nobody there on Sunday because I guess most people were watching the Super Bowl. So the rest of us that were there, they had like Super Bowl going on, a bunch of TVs and stuff, and then there was tons of beer that day. So ever since then, it seems like that just became more of a thing. There must have been beer before. Maybe I just didn't notice it or see it. We were really, had our nose in getting the videos out years before that. 12 to 14 was our coasting years. We did less and less at SHOT as far as coverage of SHOT, I think. Maybe 2012 we still did some. But 2012, I personally was 2013, I was in that stupid network. So I didn't even know if I owned my own videos anymore. So that was a bad year for gun websites at SHOT Show. But so for that and for other reasons, we just decided to quit doing the hard push on on guns and gear reviews or whatever. So maybe I just became more aware of the beer at the booths and stuff.
Do you think Media Day has changed or grown, or did it change or grow during that time?
Okay.
Or is it just kind of still?
So Media Day's that day of shooting before the show. And let's see. I could quit going at some point. So I think maybe it was 12. Man, I don't remember. I'd have to have Joe or somebody tell me. We went the one year and it was just bad and it was super crowded and lame. And then we started going to other shoots instead, and did that for a few years until Marco came around and he really wanted to go to the shoot real bad, so we went with him again. But yeah, the media day has changed drastically. Back in the olden days, it was catered to writers, and those people are old and I don't know, snooty or something. So I don't know why, but they really laid out the red carpet back in the day. And maybe because of the more people, or because every 2 years they kind of switch, they get disgusted with it.
Gun magazines were where it was all at still, sort of, right?
Well,
I mean,
yes. YouTube wasn't a thing, and I was the second largest channel on YouTube in 12 until 13 happened. Things started to change in 13. So yeah, definitely. But the media day went weird and got really crowded, and then they've done all kinds of weird things to try to prevent that or change that, I guess. And yeah, that could almost be a whole nother show, really. But I think the one thing,
Media Days were the one where they had, I don't remember what the gun was, but they had the gun there for Media Day, but nobody could shoot it. Like they never released that gun. It's kind of like what you were talking about, where they'll bring stuff out at SHOT Show, and sometimes it just never happens. I'm trying to think of what that gun was, but I just think it was having problems or whatever. It might have been the R51 from Remington. I don't remember. I think it was, and I may be thinking of 15. I might be into next week again. I just remember that there was a pistol that was there that was supposed to be something, and then like they didn't have almost a working.
Are you talking about the one from Chris? That Swiss gun that was like a mock-up? That's the only thing I can think of off the top of my head that was like a dead gun that was at the media shoot.
Maybe.
Because that was like in a booth with the Chris, carbines and pistols and stuff. And then they had their weird looking Swiss gun or whatever it is. I don't know what it's called. I don't think that thing ever existed. It was just like a mock-up in a glass case, and you could look at it. And it was frustrating because we wanted to shoot it, of course.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'll have to look back into it, but
Steadily asking
I'm also
about the old Glock parties and if they're really as crazy as he's read about. I've only ever read about them too, but yeah, they were the most crazy of all parties, that's for sure. Literally the most crazy of all parties. I've been to some crazy parties, but they ain't nowhere near as what I've read about Glock parties. Actually, no, I've been to one party that was as bad as one of the Glock parties, but that was a kind of an extra add-on thing to another party where a bunch of people got rowdy.
nice.
Range day sucks if you're loading mags all day and cleaning guns.
Well, that sounds like that sounds like you're working. That doesn't sound like you're. It doesn't sound like you're at the show to either learn or enjoy. If you got to do that, right?
No, if you're there on the line, like cleaning guns and loading, that means you work for a company. You're getting paid to be there. I could handle getting paid to be there.
Truly.
Take a break and go look at the whole range and then come back and get paid again. I could see that being a cool thing. Oh, they're saying the Brugger Domet, whatever. The Sphinx, that's what it was. Thanks. That was that Sphinx pistol. The Brugger. Sally's all over it tonight.
He's on point.
Pink is saying the Desert Tech. Should have brought Pink in here. What are we doing? If he's sitting out there talking, get him in here. He's been to check.
The Desert Tech rifles, weren't they? Wasn't that a company that was taking a lot of money to make rifles and then didn't make all the rifles that they took money for? Or did I just step in a big pile of doo-doo and that is not factual?
I'm not aware of that, but I don't keep track of rifles.
Okay. Right on. And I would hate to besmirch anybody out there because I don't need to cause trouble.
Oh, you caused trouble. Did we just talk about that?
I do.
An hour? 11 o'clock already.
We may have. It's my fault. It's my fault, G. I'll apologize right now.
Yeah, no worries. Oh, I think we started late because I was watching Edge over there. Man, there's Pink. When did you start going to shot, Pink?
It was last year.
Oh, okay. You've been to so many events. I just was thinking a couple now. So this will be your
I think he's been to NRA twice, though, right?
Right. Yeah. NRA twice, SHOT Show last year, and coming up this year, but yeah.
Right on. Yeah, if you had anything else from 12 to 14, otherwise we'll move on, I guess. All right, we'll move on, I guess.
Was
talking about load magazines was there with Bushmaster, so I'm sure he did have to load a lot.
Was 14 the year that they pushed was really pushing the suppressors? And that when everybody was like showcasing all the suppressors and everybody was pushing videos on suppressors and stuff.
I guess it could be. I've been interested in suppressors longer than 14 though, so we were reviewing Surefire's cans since they started making them, I think. So I'm not sure what the rest of the company started making them.
Because I'm beginning to think, I'm trying to think if that was when, James Yeager was really doing interviews with ACC and all those guys.
That would have been about the right time. If 13 was the beginning of 13 of Sandy Hook, and then everybody started, everything went wild. We resisted that tyranny, and it resulted in massive YouTube channels. And then 14 would have been their first year going to SHOT Show as celebrities, let's say. And that was the pretty good timing as far as things go in a big scheme of things, because that was at a time when YouTube or SHOT Show was ready for people coming in with cameras. They had been familiarized already. They weren't scared of them. And, it took a year or two to get everybody's up to speed with, not getting in the way of everybody and that kind of thing. I guess that happens a little bit still. But, yeah, I think that was probably a pretty decent time. So that was probably when Yeager started his channel in maybe 14. I don't know. Yeager's been going to SHOT. I don't know. I remember Yeager had SHOT, 6 or something, a long time ago.
Well, we definitely talked about SHOT Show for a minute. That's good.
Yeah, I'm looking at the chat a little bit. That's true. They only, at SHOT Show, they never load full mags. They will load. They shouldn't say they never load full mags. They usually only load 5 because most people just want to pull the trigger. If you really care, they'll load up a full mag, I'm sure. But Oh, we already passed it, I think. Did we already talk about the year that I went out there and K-Bar was all by themselves way in the south end? Nobody went down there, so they let me and Joe basically blow through thousands and thousands of rounds through their crates.
We may have talked about that for a split second before, but it's been a while since we broached that subject.
That was
I'd like to hear a story.
that was the summary of it. That was like 2006 or something. That was a long time ago when there was very few people out there and everybody was out there to look at handguns and rifles, I guess, and they were down there being sad. And they're like, we don't want to drag all this ammo home, so we just camped down there. I was way into AKs.
That would be fantastic. That's just the kind of thing you want to run into. And I would have to, and I'm going to assume, and I may be mistaken because, you know, we're talking 12 through 14. Was 14 the is that when the YouTubers, I don't want to say took over, but like more than there had ever been before? You know what I mean? It seemed like there started to be way more channels of coverage per SHOT Show, and I don't know if that was 14, if that was 15.
It had to be 14 because everybody was, like I say, just cutting their teeth in 13. Even the giant channels at that point were going to SHOT Show for their first year in 13. So most of the channels you watch have only been going to SHOT Show since maybe 13. Nothing Fancy started going a year before that, I think. Did he? I don't remember when he started going.
Well, and I was thinking of Destiny too. That was another one where she would just bust her ass.
Did she
getting all the film?
13?
I don't recall for sure. I think she did because she's almost been gone for a year or two now, almost.
Isn't that the year that she showed up the guy? She went up to shoot in 1911, and she was like, bing, 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 just going nuts, you know, online, you know, on the camera, on the target.
Oh, could be.
I do not remember that one.
Do you think, G, that maybe there's like again with the mass amount of YouTubers that then started getting credentials and showing up? Do you think that was 14, or do you think that was more 15?
I'm almost positive that was 14. That's probably when Haas started going, right? And then everybody, like say, that's when Eric and everybody started going. I think Tim went there that year. He did a video for that place in Indiana that was importing AKs. So that's my first experience meeting Tim. Is he was like, oh, Haas was like, Tim wants to meet you. Tim wants to meet you. And you know me, so I'm like, I don't care. So then he goes, it's this guy. He did a video for what the hell were they called? RAAC, the people in Indiana that imported AKs. Can't think of their name right now. They imported AKs for like 6 years or 4 years or something. All the Segas and stuff. Anyway, he made a video for him. And I don't know if he must have already been a video or a YouTube channel. I think it was just because he knew how to make a video and he knew him or something. So I'm not sure the thing. But anyway, Haas was like, yeah, it's this guy. And I'm like, oh shit, yeah, I'll meet him. And then we never met. But that I think was the first year he started going.
Nice. And see, that's the thing. Like it's, you know, because you've been there, both you guys or whatever, three of you guys. So you know, like how that there's a thrall of people going on. There's just freaking people everywhere. But that influx of it's new media, right?
Let me put it this way.
Isn't it when you coined that?
No, SHOT Show. Well, okay, yes, technically, but we're very YouTube centric. We're on YouTube. Everybody knows who we're talking about on YouTube. 65,000 attendees go to SHOT Show. 65,000. 10 YouTubers.
Holy wow.
10 YouTubers, 20 YouTubers ain't nothing. I think there might be.
Yeah, that doesn't make a difference
now, and it don't make no difference. Now people understand what YouTube is, so I'm sure the YouTubers, well, definitely the YouTubers get, they know who they are.
I had no clue it was over 60,000 people attended the show. That's insane.
Going from like a couple of YouTube people to like a shit ton of YouTube people was still nothing. There's still more writers going. There's still more radio people there. There's still more podcasters there. Well, maybe not podcasters anymore, but there's definitely more writers, I'm sure. All right, let's stop and talk about SHOT Show. It is coming up next week, though, so stay tuned to the show. We'll probably be live up there and whatnot. But just for the sake of not going all night on your Friday night, we'll go into the next topic, which is reading viewer feedback. So I have to figure out how to find that real quick.
Uh-oh. Hopefully it's all positive.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know what? We don't really care. I'm kind of glad you're here tonight, Z, because that means you get to do the special thing that you started doing, and I have been terrible at doing. And yeah,
I'll do what I can, but I do want to say, Bob, suck it up, Buttercup. But yeah, I got you covered, pal.
Cool.
And then Bob dropped the spoiler. So then we'll go on to reading our viewer comments. So people have been leaving comments. We appreciate it. Like to look at them. So Wes was saying, awesome to see Hosh on the show yesterday. Yeah, it was. He's definitely I think he mentioned during the show yesterday how much better he is at public speaking or whatever. Like, he's awesome. I mean, he definitely gets the point across what he's talking about. He's always got a good insight. Great to have him on the show. Dave was asking when it's on, so we'll say it again. Every night at midnight. Pretty easy to remember. Midnight Eastern. Moon is agreeing with me that Zagnuts are the best candies on this dark flat earth, which I agree. Z, you know what a Zagnut is?
I know what a Zagnut is, and they are pretty good, but I don't know if that statement is accurate.
Well, here's the thing. You are sitting next to two Zagnut haters. They refuse to eat a Zagnut because of the coconut part.
Oh, no. Yeah, I
Coconut's
eat
how
a
it works.
Zagnut.
Make
Anyway. You know we got coconut trees, right? You know we eat coconuts out here? I mean, but anyway.
Do they have Zagnuts out there?
That's just because you guys are lazy.
Yeah,
and growing it out.
Bob, you would die if you climbed a coconut tree. So, Zagnuts, yes, I think we have Zagnuts out here. I'm pretty sure.
All right, then we got Dead Horse saying, great show, thanks. And we got Midnight Range saying he's got to get himself a Gun Channel's apron. So, I don't know. We probably get one of those made on, what is that, Spreadshirt or whatever. Or we can ask the guy from Forge for Freedom. I'm told we're going to be up there before SHOT Show, so we'll see how that goes. Are we up there yet? No. So we'll be up there potentially before SHOT Show, and then I'll talk to him if he can do aprons. I'm guessing he can. He seems pretty skilled. And
That
then
could be
Midnight. Midnight was looking for the Shockwave AR thing that we had talked about, and I guess he found it at these points in that show. So if you are looking, you can look at our comments. Actually, I guess you can't look at our comments in this way because this is all on one page for me. But it's the show about cameras and video if you're looking for that gun. John says, what if Genghis Khan had a machine gun in a spaceship? He could have traveled to planet Uranus, wiping out all the Klingons. There would have been no Klingon storyline on Star Trek. Captain Kirk, Dr. Spock, and the Starship Enterprise crew would have contended with just other villains from deep space. Good spin on it. Sean's saying the first Point Break was the best one. I should make Jimmy do this. He's getting paid just to sit there.
Man, you do remember that Genghis Khan actually was in a Star Trek episode?
What, the guy in the bed?
Him.
Or no, somebody was in the museum or something.
It was thinking it was Genghis Khan, I think, right? And then some Klingon dude and some Vulcan dude, right?
Are you thinking of Bill and Ted?
But anyway.
No, the original Star Trek, the good one.
Original Star Trek.
Captain Kirk.
But also Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure did also have Genghis Khan in it.
Who's spray painting? All right, then we got Weston saying I recently went to a local hunter safety course with his 12-year-old. It was a good refresher. Like a lot of things, it's different perspective going in as an adult versus going in as a 10 and 12-year-old. I bet. Yeah, I can. Whenever I think about the hunter safety stuff, sit here for a second, think about it. I can remember back. I don't know how old I was, but yeah, I can still remember sitting in that room and thinking how cool it was to be in a room with a bunch of dudes that were old, and I was learning something real instead of like stupid school stuff or Boy Scout stuff or something. I was like learning real life gun stuff. It was pretty cool for the little kid.
I would agree with you on that.
Did you have to do
I
it?
haven't taken a hunter safety. You had to take a hunter safety class to get a hunting license.
How old are you? What grade are you in 12 when you're 12?
Maybe 5th or 6th, maybe 7th, somewhere in there, depending on acuity, I guess.
So yeah, I don't know. It probably was around then. Looks like we got 20 seconds left on the Instagram. So the people that are watching over there, thanks for watching. Do an hour on Instagram, and then that kind of times us over here. So thanks for watching. We'll be back on Monday, midnight. And then we got Rob saying, if you're looking for a gun show to promote that really needs your help, check out Miami Valley Shooting Grounds. Maybe he means, I don't know if it's a gun show, in something, Ohio. Do you know where this is, Pink? Vandalia?
Vandalia? Vandalia.
Pink.
Yeah, Vandalia. Yeah, I've heard of it.
Let's see. They are in a fight for the life against the city. They have an indoor and outdoor range. Their outdoor range was shut down. This was due from lies one of their neighbors saying that it was projectiles coming into their yard. This has been proven to be a lie. They are fighting because the city is trying to rezone the property. They did huge improvements, making it the best outdoor range with no blue sky. You can get more information by just going to their Facebook and seeing some of their posts. So it's called Miami Valley Shooting Grounds. By any chance you heard of that before, Pink?
Not the shooting grounds, but I know where Vandalia is.
We'll throw that out just in case anybody wants to look it up and do anything about it. Where am I at? Here.
Oh, don't put that up. Take it down. There you go.
Yeah. Answers to secrets. All right. And then Bill's saying I missed the beginning musical prelude. But what?
Oh, Bill Withers. No, that's the. I think Keep On Using Me to Use Me Up, but I'm not sure that the Bill Withers sings.
Oh, really?
I am gonna effort right now on Google to find that out while you continue.
But then he's asking about the other song that we play occasionally.
Making pancakes, making bacon pancakes. Mix a bacon and I'll put it in a pancake. Bacon pancakes, that's what it's gonna make. Bacon pancakes. Bacon pancakes, making bacon pancakes.
And it's an awesome song that you can blame Pawnery for that because he told us about it and now we play it all the time because it's awesome. If it was chocolate chip bacon pancakes, it'd be better, but I'll take a little puppy singing about bacon pancakes.
So just so you know, Bill Withers had Lean On Me, Ain't No Sunshine, Use Me, Just the Two of Us, Lovely Day, and Grandma's Hands.
Oh, whenever Jimmy blows us off, me or Bob are in here by ourselves, we play Just the Two of Us. Or when Bob blows us off.
That's a pretty nice shooting range.
I don't think we have a gunshot today.
That was real laughter. That was not canned laughter, by the way.
We might be, I think we are using that as our gun shop today. See. Oop, hopefully not showing secrets. Okay, so I don't know. Where are we back? We're back a week ago. So that's a week's worth of comments. If you want to leave us comments, we do appreciate it. We try to answer them all the time, and then on Fridays we look at them. So we'll be looking at iTunes and others at some point.
I like this edition. That's cool.
Basically we lost tons of viewers when our Hawaii coast left, so we had to struggle to find things that would keep people interested. We're making do. We're limping through.
Ain't nobody in the snow country want to hear about how it was 80 degrees today. Ain't nobody want to hear that.
We tell them all the time about our troubles. Like today, I had to go to the store, right? I had to go pick up some stuff. I had to go pick up this mini AK-47 and mini SVD at the post office, right? Because I had to do a review on. And then, so I didn't know how cold it was, so I brought a jacket. And then I got in the van, and I started driving over there, and then it was hot. And I felt like I shouldn't have brought the jacket. So
I had that same problem. And before the sun comes over the volcano, jacket. Soon as that sun crests the rim of that volcano, dude, it's coming off. It's too hot.
And then you got to worry about your jacket. These people in the north, they think that they got it so hard. They got it easy. They just have to wear a coat. Done. It's cold. They know it.
The key is to keep it on. Yes, the key is to keep the jacket on for sure.
Yeah. 5 o'clock this morning, it was 50 degrees, and it just started to sprinkle. Probably by 10 o'clock in the morning, it was 36 degrees, pouring down rain, blowing sideways. And then probably about 4 o'clock, it started to snow. And right now we're in blizzard conditions.
Happy January.
Luckily, you're leaving.
Yeah.
To Vegas.
Yep. Monday night, Tuesday morning.
Pink, if you're willing and it's not secret, tell people your adventure you're going on.
Let's see. Tuesday morning, I'm leaving the snow-covered caps of Ohio and flying to nice, warm Phoenix. Go spend a couple days there. Thursday, I'm picking up Marco from the airport, and then we're driving up to Las Vegas. So we'll
Nice.
hit the antique show early, and then got a couple shoots at the beginning of the week, and then SHOT Show.
Go to the Grand Canyon.
That's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, we're gonna go to Grand Canyon. I'm gonna try to go to the crater.
There's nowhere near there, dude. The
Oh,
meteor
I know.
crater? Okay.
Yeah, the meteor crater. Well, see, I've got a couple days by myself, so
You mean before?
yeah, I'll be flying in on Tuesday. Marco won't get there till Thursday.
So, Jimmy, did you know anything about Pink getting in on Tuesday? About
Nope.
6 miles from you? Neither did I.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah, heavy did.
guess who he's already got it hooked up with?
Huh. Wonder who.
Heavy and Angry. They already got some secret plans that they're going to go on.
And then I'm going to stop by Brandon's Saber Knights shop. I want to make sure I hit that.
FYI, it's only open in the evenings. Every time we go by there, it's open when they're not.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a late rider.
But here's the deal, dude. Phoenix, 2 hours to Flagstaff. I mean, it's neat, I guess, if you've never driven it. And then it's another 2 hours of boring nothing, like cinder fields to the meteor crater. And then you drive half an hour or something south of the highway, and you pay the dude to go into his property. So it's not even like a national monument, like they're to act like it's some dude's property. And I forget what they charge you, but they charge you to go look at that big hole. So you're going to drive for like 2 hours each way. An hour of it might be interesting. I'm not going to, it's valid. Like between Phoenix and Flagstaff is interesting. I like that
It's
drive.
gorgeous, I
But
think.
the drive between Flagstaff and the stupid meteor crater is boring. It's just cinder fields. It's like there's not even cinder cones anymore. It's just nothing. It's just flat
It's a
scrub.
big hole in the earth that got hit by a rock from space, man.
Oh, it's awesome. It's impressive. But seriously, the best impressive look at it is in the Google 360 satellite type of thing where you can actually see it. So I just want to, if you got, I mean, seriously, if you got a lot of time, go for it. But just, I want to make you aware, it's like 4 hours of driving and 2 hours of that easy is boring. There's nothing to look at.
If the guy makes you angry, Pink, just take a piss.
There might be snow.
Show him who's boss.
There might be snow up there. Phoenix is down by us. Kind of, they're a little bit higher than us, I think. But then you're going to go.
The only time I ever saw snow in Arizona was in Flagstaff.
Well, Flagstaff has ski stuff on the top.
Hell yeah.
So you get up on the rim and it's snow. So you might even be back in snow driving. It'll be weak snow compared to what you're like, but you know, still. Anyway.
Yeah, we're gonna hit the Grand Canyon, and then we're also gonna take a tour of the Hoover Dam down in the valleys.
And that's what we got to figure out still, because you know we're going to do that the day after, or after the shoot, right?
We're still talking about it, but we might do that on range day since
That's
we're
what I'm
right by there.
That's what I was saying. So we got to get that all figured out in another chat or something before, because everybody's got different things, and I think we're down to 2 vehicles now.
Yeah.
Okay, so because of Bob, let's just make that clear that we're down to 2 vehicles because of Bob.
Bob's fault. So that would be why Marco's not riding with Bob then.
Personally,
Marco's riding with me.
I
He's
don't
going
think
to ride in
you'll ever
style.
get Marco to ride with Bob again, and I'm almost positive you'll never get Bob to ride with Marco again.
I was wondering about
Yeah.
that. I figured that was it, but I wasn't sure.
I don't want to speak.
Yeah,
But-
I'm supposed to have a 4-door Charger waiting on me at the airport, so he's going to be riding in style.
Well, I hope you guys bring your windbreakers.
What do you need a
What kind of-
windbreaker?
Nice seat cover.
Oh my god!
Yeah, get down. There's another round coming, another wave.
Don't move, Mike. It's all over your head. Just stay low.
Now that is some suppression fire right there.
Jimmy's only
Yeah,
excellent.
it took a little longer to play in order and succession, like I hoped it would. So I'm probably only going to do one next time. But yeah,
We
everybody
do
knows
have a
that
guest
sound
already,
means.
by the way.
42.
Oh yeah, I believe it might not be that. Everybody knows what that sound means, though. It's time to crack your knuckles, whip out them keyboards, and get ready for the daily tactical pop quiz. Today, it was a gun that was talked about quite a bit, actually, over on gun channels. So, what is it's actually SHOT Show related too? So, a company unveiling a new gun at SHOT Show this year is not a pistol. It's not an AR, and there's no tax stamps required. What company is making this gun? What company is making this gun?
You got the answer in the side chat?
No. Hang on. Oh no, I'm not. I'm on my phone. But we got an answer already though. Over here on Gun Channels, immediately it looks like Flippy Franklin Armory. Flippy got the answer. Snap. Has Flippy ever won one of these things?
I just did the whole thing with the thing muted.
Yeah.
Flippy's won like 3 times, I think.
Well, congratulations, Flippy. You got it. The answer was
That's
Franklin
not
Armory.
Flippy. That's not Flippy.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's his fake name.
oh.
I gotcha. So Flippy, you're out there being a winner, dancing in the winner circle with the champagne and all that kind of stuff. You know, that makes you the tactical hot shot for today or for this evening, I guess. Now that we're doing the evenings. So congratulations, man. Way to be a winner. Way to stop being a loser, Flippy. Good job.
Nice. So we will move on to, I don't know, let's do the movie of the day. Let's blow off Saturday Night Specials because we're already way late and we could talk about Saturday Night Specials forever, right?
Oh, I was looking forward to that, but yeah.
Well, I'm just thinking, let's move it to next week. Oh, that'll be action.
No, I'm just messing around, yeah.
I'm just saying, let's ditch it because we're way over an hour. But let's talk about the Miami shooting thing. I think Pink just had a thing up. You were looking at it. That is our gun shop of the day. So every day we try to feature a new gun shop. That's the whole point of this show. We do it on the daily so that, you know what, doing it on the daily is a pain in the ass because we can't podcast like all these other people. Like, oh, we're just going to podcast. No big deal because we only do one show every once in a while. Big deal. We do an hour plus a show every single night. So that's 5 hours a week. And it costs $1 billion everywhere to podcast this. So, anyhow, we try to feature a show or a gun shop every single day, and today it is the one from the email Miami Valley Shooting Grounds.
Yep, I'm gonna back up.
Is that the one with the gray building there, Pink?
Yep. Let's see. Oh, you got the 360 here, right there. That's the outside.
Wow, it just almost looks like it's a farm equipment place.
Now, you haven't been there before.
Yeah. No, I haven't.
Those are nice. I like seeing them on rails like that as opposed to little wires or strings or whatever, because then the targets aren't bouncing around in the air conditioning or the air distribution thing. So that's pretty cool.
It's all metal too, so it's just in case it takes a stray bullet. But looks like out back they've got the outdoor range.
Nice.
Yeah, I could see. Yeah, I can see where they're saying that there's no way that, because that's a big hill. Let me see if I can get.
And you know, it don't take nothing for somebody to put an arc on that thing. But yeah, I hear what you're saying. It would be pretty hard to go over that.
Looks like they've got like a small side bay, a little closer, but.
I've never shot into one of those like that. Where, if you go back one.
Oh, which one?
The dirt berm for the pistols. It's got like the wood over the top. Like you're shooting into a shed is kind of what is going on. But I mean, it makes sense and everything. But you would think that dirt would be higher behind the targets. But whatever. Again, never shot like that, so it might not be a big deal.
There might be a low hill, and they've put that on there.
Maybe.
Well, I mean, it might be a low hill because that one that I had. Well.
Oh, I see what you're saying. In the background, the backdrop or whatever, too short, perhaps.
Yeah.
I would go there. I would spend some money there to go to the range.
Looks like. Yeah, long range rifle. I mean, that's all cinder block there. There's no way bullets getting through that. Here's the one I saw. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty tall hill there.
It is pretty tall, but think about it. You know, if you just took a little too much arc, that would be a problem. But then again, we don't know how much space is behind the top of that hill and whatever the next thing happens to be. I would definitely go there. I would like that range. That looks like nice. They're charging per hour or anything like that, or on their website, or not so much.
See,
And once again,
was
this is
just
Miami
illegal.
Valley Shooting Grounds.
Yeah. There it is. There's their website.
Dang it! I just got an alert from my phone that I ran the whole Instagram tonight off of the phone instead of my Wi-Fi. I just wasted all my.
Oh shit, G. Are you unlimited?
No big deal. It's unlimited technically, but Johnny, I get 1 gig and then they throttle it. So this phone's
Oh yeah.
not like I need it next week.
It's gonna be a long month before you go to SHOT Show.
Yeah, $195 a year for a single person, $245 a year for a family.
Okay, what is it? Husband and wife and up to 4 children. Dude, that is a deal.
Yeah.
That's a deal. And what are they asking for regular? Or you just pay for the year and come whenever?
Yeah.
Ohio 45 ACP on the gun channel side is saying $15 a day. Have you been there?
$15, that's what I'm paying to go to my range, and it ain't even open every day. I would pay $15. I got no problem with that.
Outdoor range is free.
Jeez.
Firearm transfer, $35. Free use of range rental. Oh, this is the benefits of
Yeah.
Oh,
so you-
being the member.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so Ohio's saying he has been there, and non-members are $15 a day.
That's not bad, really, when you consider how long the day is.
Exactly. If you're going to go out there and shoot for a bit, that's not bad at all.
Shot in Texas, most of the ranges I went to were time. Well, I think one might have even been broken down in 15-minute increments, even. Yeah, that sucks. But
You went to
that's
Austin?
awesome.
You were in Austin mostly?
Mostly, yes.
Because I'm told that's the more expensive chunk of Texas.
Truly.
They prefer to call it Tejas.
Yes. Tejas.
looks like they
See,
provide
second-
classes too.
Russ is saying that his is $65 a year for the family. So definitely a big difference, but still, I don't think that $245 is too bad considering it's in Ohio. I don't know where Russ is at. Out
Well,
here.
plus they're also letting you have up to a family of 6 for that $245. I mean, that's $60 a person for the year or whatever. That's pretty reform. But you have to have 6 people.
Yeah, Ohio's saying he pays more like 15 to 18 an hour in Cleveland. So pretty cool. Is that out like in a cornfield or something? Or what do you have there? Soybean fields or something?
In Ohio?
Definitely farm country. I'm trying to think. What's the school there? Is that or University of Miami? Yeah, that's University of Miami, Ohio. That's probably the university there.
Yeah,
those are in the area.
That I think there's another one down there.
Okay.
Ohio saying this place
To all
is
of our listeners.
west of Columbus. So that's where the Dayton Museum is, right? The air museum we went to?
Yeah, let me
That
find
area
it.
of the state at least.
Go back to the map.
So they're over next to Indiana. They probably just set it up so that they shoot into Indiana. So they're like, well, technically it's not hitting the ground in Ohio, so what do we care?
We all know that they shoot into Michigan, G-Webs. Don't pretend like you don't know. Everybody in Ohio aims their guns that way. Come on now. Pink isn't even denying it.
Nope, he's not even suggesting that that's a fact.
Matter of fact.
Just
Oh,
saying.
yeah, 70-75. That is over by Dayton. That's north of Dayton. Yeah.
Okay.
They probably got the range pointed.
The
this
highway
direction.
I don't want to drive. Yeah, you know they do.
Oh, 70?
I'm
No,
pretty sure I
Just
just-
like 70?
Minneapolis, right?
Anytime I drove through Ohio, dude, it was just all highway. Preferable because it allowed me to get through Ohio faster. No offense to any Ohioans out there. They all know I'm originally from Michigan, and they can hate on me. That's okay. This is out there saying, no, actually, I shoot towards Canada. That's funny.
Probably just splashes down in the water.
Yeah, you'd have to put a hell of an arc on that, wouldn't you?
The museum that we was at was probably about here. Yep, right there, Ray Patterson. So yeah, it's pretty close.
And what's that Army Depot gun shop that you just rolled by? Granted, we're covering somebody else's gun shop. It was a little further south and to the left.
That?
When you scrolled in a little. Nope, further down south of Northridge. And like when you scrolled in a little bit, like it showed some type of...
The left. West of Dayton.
That might have been what I was thinking of, yeah. But anyway, that's not the gun shop we're doing.
No.
Looks like a cool one, kind of, though.
Yeah.
Gun shops. It's part of the gun show loophole term.
Yep, definitely. So we will move along today, but if you do have a gun shop you'd like us to feature, feel free to send us an email. It's dailygunshow@gmail.com, and we're happy to. That's the whole point of the show. We'll be checking out shows or shops up in Vegas for sure. Gonna go show Jimmy Hans. Bob, did you ever even go to Hans, the surplus store?
I don't think so.
The giant surplus store? Oh, you'd remember. I don't think we ever got up there last year.
No, I
so,
don't think so. Yeah, you left early.
Yeah, we run out of money and leave sometimes. So this year we'll try to get Jimmy
in
up
Vegas,
there.
I would think.
Huh?
I was gonna say running out of money and having to leave. I think that's sometimes that's standard operating procedure in Vegas in general.
Yeah, it's what happens when you don't go to SHOT Show to try to make $1,000 deals with people so I can sell our viewers their stuff. I probably should. And then you don't have to buy their stuff, and then I'd be able to stay longer in Vegas.
Man, gee, if you showed me something worth buying, I'm not saying I wouldn't buy it. And I'd rather hear it from you than somebody else. I'm just saying.
I hear you. There's better people to do that kind of stuff. Anyhow, so
I hear you.
It's just always a bad time of year. All my stupid domains come due in November and December, so it just kills me, wipes me out, puts me on the credit cards, and then I've just got to seriously debate if it's worth going into debt to go into the next year again. So anyway, that's personal shit. What are we gonna do? Gun of the day? Do we even have a gun of the day?
We got Bob. We must have a gun of the day.
Oh, I thought he might be sleeping.
Well, I'm sure it's another Forgotten Weapons gun. So,
you know, we could just start going to Forgotten Weapons.
Is he now a big Ian fan?
Correct.
No, he's a big lazy fan. He just goes watch whatever Forgotten Weapons was. He does that gun the next day.
Did not. Looked at this in other sites. Just he happens to.
Wait a minute. Is that a bullpup AK? Wait. What one are we talking about here? Because I saw one that was like a bullpup AK up there.
It's
another one I've never heard of before.
Great grandfather to the HK, to the MP5, and everything else. It's one of those last ditch. Well, it was to be a cheaper version of the MP44, right? So they eventually made it so they eliminated the whole gas system, and it was just a delayed roller block. Shot the.
You see the picture of Bob's boyfriend, right? You see the picture of the gun with Bob's.
You know what? G-Webs won't introduce me to him because he figures I'll say something embarrassing or something.
But Bob, what do you mean would? You will.
I don't give a shit if you embarrass yourself in front of you. He doesn't like me, and I don't hardly talk to him. So I could try to introduce you to him. I don't think he's gonna.
Bob will go up, hug him, and kiss him. I love you. We'll have to go.
Story on this gun. What's the caliber of this gun?
How much do you guys bet me?
Well, how much is the restraining order? Let's keep things in check here. So, what's the caliber on this gun? Is it 9mm, Bob?
No, it's 8mm Kurtz, so 8mm short. So it's the same caliber as the MP44. Uses the same magazines actually, but it's really different. It was the original 06 was like only a matter of 18% cheaper or something like that. Wasn't that much cheaper to produce, so they thought, well, there's no reason to start. They came out with another version, the one they eliminated the gas system on, and that one is actually like half the price of the MP44. So they did start, they had.
Wait a minute. How do you get rid of the gas system on a firearm? Does it just go to blowback or something? But you have to have
delayed roller blowback, yeah.
All right.
Like what the HK uses, right? The MP5. Delayed roller blowback, and they managed to make it work with the 8mm Kurtz, because that's not like a full power cartridge, right? But it is rather interesting, and just, you think of they were so desperate to produce lots of guns, but this is what they come up with, and it's just
Yeah, but what is this, like 1950
45?
maybe? Wait a minute. So this is before the end.
It says 45 in the name. Does that have anything to do with dates in Germany?
Well, yeah, basically it was designed in the last year of the war. They were just about to produce it when they decided to move the Mauser factory up to a mountain. And
Hey, G, would you go back to that picture you just had on, please? The one that had the STG and all that?
This one?
Okay. Yeah, that one. So it's the same caliber as a Sturmgewehr?
Yeah.
Yeah, that bullet up here is the right bullet, correct, Bob? This is the gun.
Yeah, that's the 8mm.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
so you're short. So it's basically, it's your first intermediate type cartridge.
Dude, that's a fat bullet on there, isn't it?
It's like a little squatty 7.62 by 39. That's what the Sturm.
Yeah, it's just short, but it's fat.
It's just about the size of a 39. Just shorter.
Yeah.
There's not really a hole in it.
Not normally.
How do we pronounce umlauts again? So that would be Garat.
No, it's not A, is it? It's Au? Grout?
A root?
I don't know. I don't know.
Oh, maybe.
I am Groot.
Semester of German ever, and it was like in 7th grade.
I am Groot.
But I don't think it's A because it's to try to tell it not to be an A, right? That's like their own.
Girat.
My alphabet never had dots around the letters.
Umlauts.
They have a whole extra letter. They have that goofy looking and % looking thing.
And Dano's alphabet had all kind of Cyrillic characters in it.
That's such an old reference that that nobody even knows what you're talking about, Bob.
Bob and Dano know it, so that's a little chunk.
Oh. Okay, I guess.
Anybody else ever heard about this gun? I don't think I've ever seen it.
Nope.
There's a lot of them. So I'm guessing it's
world.
What?
There's 2 of them they know are actually built.
Oh, 2? Okay, no wonder.
Well, they made 30 kits. They made 30 parts kits, but hadn't put them together because they moved the factory.
Because the other one, I think, got blowed up by the good guys, if I had to assume.
It was never a produced gun. It was simply prototypes.
Yeah, I didn't catch that part of it.
Pre-production prototype. I mean, like I say, they had 30. It was given production status, so they ordered 30 so they could do the pre-production testing. But by the time they got the 30 kits built.
It was just too late in the war or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. But those engineers who worked on that went to Spain and sent me.
Oh.
And then they went to when Germany could start building guns again. They went back home to Germany and started working for HK. And shut up, dog.
You be nice to Charlie.
Oh, he's just whining all the time now.
It definitely can. You can see the HK in it.
Oh yeah, there's all kinds
really?
of
like that
mechanical.
Yeah, just looks. I mean, it's not an HK, but it definitely kind of has that.
Wait, that bolt is that long, really? Yeah.
Well, that might be because that's a bullpup take on it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that would make way more sense. Way more sense.
That's a bullpup take on the roller locked Garat 06.
Yeah. Now the 06H was the one that didn't have the gas system. That was the one they actually approved for production.
Man, doesn't that look about as good as the dude that made the AK out of the shovel? They were clearly lacking resources and factory floor space and stuff like that. Clearly, by the time they were starting to do this shit.
No,
I gotta let my dog out.
Good. Well,
like, Gunter, give me a shovel. I need to make a gun.
Well, and to be honest, we're probably all really lucky that Hitler didn't even like the STG-44, and they had to make it in secret.
Yeah,
that's interesting. I don't know. I'm not knowledgeable about that, but I wonder if he did choose it. Isn't it possible?
Oh, he didn't like it. He didn't want. Oh, okay.
I know that story, but I'm saying, as far as the theoretical, if he did like it, and he would have pushed them. Maybe that would have bankrupted him or like screwed him over. I don't know the actual technical details of it. Bob might, but you know what I mean? I know that they were losing resources and everything as they were getting their asses kicked. So it might have been a great thing if he would have just said, "Oh yeah, let's pursue this," and then you know what I'm saying, like not done all those Enfields or whatever.
And he would,
Spouse was saying,
and he wouldn't have had all the material, and he wouldn't even had the materials to.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
That point, yeah. But what if the first time they said it, something like, say it was a year earlier, or something, man, that could have been bad.
Well, even just
Very, very
3
bad.
months earlier would have made a huge difference.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. And then it was one of those, like they were trying to build a gun that used as little resources as possible. So, you know, it was as much pressed steel and they got rid of as much as they could have.
What do you think about? I don't know if you ever talked to an old guy. Look at how Bob is with plastic. I would imagine dudes that grew up their entire lives with wood, solid wood, and a metal rod as a barrel, getting handed a stamped metal gun. I bet you they would have looked at it like somebody farted at them.
Oh, hell yeah.
I would imagine so.
I still do.
But then again,
What is this?
I don't want to change the topic or anything, but then again, you know, there are other people born of that same time period that actually were able to flow with the changes. I'm not talking about REO Speedwagon. Some of us got stuck in the past.
Well, let's not handicap him. He's in Canada. The whole country's in the past.
Oh, please. We're so far in the future, you guys just think you're...
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Haven't heard that spin before.
Even that
Let's
cutie boy
stop talking
president or
about
whatever
World
you
War
call him.
II before we get our re-education from above the
Russ
border.
is saying that he hates it when people call the Setme a G3 clone or an HK91 clone because the Setme was first and the HK is a clone. I never thought about it that way. That's interesting.
That's true, too. Because those engineers, like I say, they went from this gun, then after they, you know, escaped the Allies, they went over to Spain or wherever and worked there. And built
Because they had fascists over in Spain at that time.
Yeah, so they built guns to help the Spanish oppress the people. And then when Germany said you can make guns again to oppress the people, they went right back to Germany. They were just like, oh, we don't say that anymore? Okay.
Anybody have experience with all three of those? The G3, the Setme, and the HK91 clone, which is like a PTR or something like that? What I was basically trying to get to, anybody out in the chat that has, let me know which one you think you like the best, or which one do you think was the best, or
I like the HK91.
you know, I do too.
The best as far in what way? Accuracy, reliability?
If they feel like,
Just
I was gonna say any of those, yeah. And we'll see if anybody responds. And I know Flippy owns a PTR. So of course that would be his choice. And I think Night Strike owns a Setme, right?
Yep.
But he's sleeping, I'm sure.
And
I think so.
And there are several other Gun Channels members that also own a Setme.
All right. Well, I think we can then say that was a pretty good gun of the day after all, and we'll move on to the movie. I think that's all we got left. So since we killed the subject there, I think that's all we got. So today we try to feature a gun-related movie every day. Today it's FX from 1986. Sure, we covered this one before, but I think I watched it on Amazon, so I threw it in here.
Brian Brown, right?
The dude, I forgot his name. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the guy that had he was the special effects wizard. He had he had a panel van with all his stuff in it.
SWAT van. Yeah.
Yeah, and that was at a time, or a bread truck, but anyway, that was at a time when you didn't always know the behind the scenes of all of that kind of stuff. So I thought that was an amazing movie. I even liked FX2, which is not as good as a movie, but that was, the plot in it was good. There was a couple of twists to it. You realize that Brian Brown's actually a kind of a good actor.
That's the one where they had the CIA had them do something for them or something like that, or some agency or something like
Yep,
that.
I just need you to make it look like this or
Right,
what have you.
Okay. Yeah, I'll give that movie one thumb up. It was pretty good.
I actually
wouldn't say
saw
it
the
was
movie
best.
in the theater when it first came out, and I will give it 2 thumbs up. I thought it was an outstanding movie for its time, and I
I've
think
only seen 3 moving pictures.
what?
So that's
It was a retort.
I say that's because you've only ever seen 3 moving pictures.
Yeah,
I
okay.
saw you guys remember like back in the 80s and 90s, like if HBO got a hold of a movie or whatever, they're just gonna play it every other day or 3 times a day or whatever.
You got like all week to watch it.
Yeah, FX was one of those movies, and I think I've probably watched it, I don't know, 20 times easy, if not more.
Way more, yeah.
Yeah. But the way that he was redoing his disguises throughout was what was part of the part that was just so mind blowing.
Yeah, none of that shit was CGI either.
No, that was the real deal.
All practical effects, all of it.
Way before CGI was even a thing, yeah.
So, to watch a guy, when, a character suddenly go through a scene and do something, and then all of a sudden he peels, you see a guy or a woman, and all of a sudden it's a man, and you see him peel off the mask, and you could have swore that was the other character. And there was no special effects at all. That's part of why I think, to me, what made it so impressive.
That remote control robot clown thing, right? I think somebody out in the chat was just mentioning that. I still think that's a decent movie. I mean, it's a little dated in that nobody has like a cell phone to call for help or cell phone camera to say, obviously that's not how it happened. Or but if you think of it as a time period piece, right?
Yeah. Like
if you were, there you go. Yes.
I mean, there's no cell phones there, but it's still a great movie.
Yeah, I'll definitely give FX 2 thumbs up. Not a problem with that.
It's awesome when you watch an old movie like that and they're like, "Oh, I need to go make a call," and then they walk to a phone booth.
Yeah, but there were phone booths. If you lived in an urban area, like in downtown Chicago, on every corner.
Oh yeah, and probably like a bank of them where there was a bunch of people.
Yeah,
right? Like a group of them.
All right, so let's wrap this up. I'll give it 1 soft thumb.
Oh, Bob's in a big hurry now. All of a sudden, Bob's in a big hurry. Like 2 hours into a show, I'm about to oh no.
In addition to the 2 thumbs, I have a finger for Bob.
Dano, you keep your finger to yourself. We've already had discussions about that.
That's why we have Dano and Bob separated. So I'm going to give, if this would have been a podcast back in 1986, I would have definitely been with Dano. I really, really liked that movie, and I would have given it 2 thumbs up. But too many other movies have happened since then, so I'm going to give it a good solid thumbs up, and almost that 1.5 like Haas gave it yesterday, but I don't do halves, so I'm just going to give it the 1. But it's definitely worth watching. Like you guys said, I didn't even think about it as just watching an 80s movie or whatever. For some of these youngins, that's one of the reasons we're doing the movie of the day, right? So that the youngins can find out about movies that are worth something. And
absolutely.
It might be an exercise to see some of the 80s for them. It's weird when we've experienced it and we're like, oh, go back and watch something.
Dude, I think it's on Prime right now.
Yeah, it's on Amazon.
I'm probably going to watch it within this week. I'm probably going to watch it now that we brought it up.
Well, I texted Smeggy, letting him know we're all here, and I guess he's either out drinking or he's passed out sleeping. I don't think he's coming back. I haven't seen any lights or indications that he's out there stirring.
I'm thinking he's drinking.
Well, it is late and it's Friday.
Yep.
And that's what young men should be doing.
We've got a couple of gun history things that I don't know if we talked about yesterday or not. Did we talk yesterday about CCW National Parks? I don't think we remembered to do that in the history part.
I saw it on your Instagram.
Yeah, one of the few things Obama did that was worth a darn was to sign into legislation the rule that took effect allowing people to carry on parks, assuming that the state allowed CCW and you were a current CCW holder. But that's certainly nice because a lot of parks have mountain lions and stuff. You can't hunt in a park, so they tend to have more vicious wild animals or rabid wild animals. So I think that was a good step. And it's been since 2009, so we're going on 7 years now. Not an issue, not one issue. So I really like remembering things like this so that when they come at us with, oh, if you let constitutional carry happen, oh, this will happen. Their perceived problems. This is, this is creating precedent, creating fact. Every day that goes by is another day that this is not a concern. So hopefully we can use these to leverage and get more rights back. But we have other things going on. Colt died yesterday. I think we did talk about that one, right? The other day on the 10th. So I'm going to go this way. It was 2012. So I guess we were talking about 2012 to 2014 at SHOT Show. 2012, my little miniguns went on Modern Marvels. So that aired, I think, while we were at SHOT Show. We were live, too. We were in some kind of a hangout live, and we had the TV going because they told me when it was going to air or whatever. And we pointed the camera, I think, at the show. And yeah, they had contacted me to find out if they could use some of my video clips, my little mini revolver, and put us on that Modern Marvels episode that year, early 2012. And you can see down there, gun websites. That was really all the pay I got. I learned after the fact that I could have got paid. But anyway, happy to have the credit up there. I always like Modern Marvels. You can tell I kind of based our channel, Gun Websites, off of that. You never know who's narrating Modern Marvels. It's not about the individual. It's about whatever they're talking about. And I like that. And my grandpa used to watch the show a lot, so it was really kind of cool to be on that show.
Yeah,
absolutely, dude.
It's one of the few TV shows that I would actually recommend on an ongoing basis because it exposes you to all sorts of things that you will never have a chance to ever see. Just whether it's huge machines that are one of a kind, or they're in a location that that were built on in a spot that you can never be allowed to go to again. It's just a very unique way to do things.
Hey, G, we got a question out in the chat about where did it go? It is about carrying in the parks, I think, and it is: do you have to? And if we don't know, we don't know. But if we do, Staley's asking: do you have to be a CCW holder even in a constitutional carry state in the park?
Well, that's a good question. So
now, the way that you had worded it, I would assume that you would have to have the CCW. But again, I'm going to defer to people that know these things.
That's a good question. I don't think you have to have a permit in your hand if you're a resident of a state and you're in a state that has constitutional carry and you're legal to carry a firearm. But I'm not a lawyer. And that's one of the reasons I get a CCW, even though we have constitutional carry. So it's not an issue. But that's a good point, and I'm not sure. And they also bring it up on the gun channel side that although you can carry in a national park, you cannot yet still carry in the buildings on a national park. So don't even go into a bathroom. If the person wanted to be a real stickler, they could say that your CCW doesn't extend into a building, and that could include something like that. But definitely don't go into a visitor center or one of the office buildings or something while carrying, because the CCW or this bill or whatever it was, that act only covers the land, not the buildings.
Well, and then technically, wouldn't you be entering a federal building since they are national parks? Technically,
exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Although it should be that if they expect you to disarm to go into a federal building, then they should have lockers. But
always there should be the coat check girl right there. I shouldn't have said girl. My bad. The coat check person.
So gender. That's why we kicked you off the show, because of the whole gender thing, and now you're doing it again.
I love the ladies.
Otherwise, I was looking at the history thing, and there ain't nothing that good. It looked like today in 1846, President Polk, I hardly think about that guy, dispatches
James K.
Zachary Taylor and 4,000 troops to the Texas border as the war with Mexico looms. So today in 1846, all you people in Texas would have been getting ready to fight Mexico.
And Zachary Taylor was a badass.
1919, California votes to ratify prohibition. Derps.
It always starts in California. Just saying. Every time. Somebody had posted the canoe one again the other day, where the one half of the canoe is definitely sinking, the other half is being lifted out of the water, with the theory of you can't really just let it happen to somebody that you don't care about, because if it happens there, then it's going to happen potentially to everybody else anyway. So it was one of those.
The whole boat sinks at that point. So who gets
right
wet first is a little consequence, right?
Correct. I think that was on Instagram.
I was just going to say, I guess I forgot to mention, I probably should have said it way earlier in the show and it was still Friday, but I imagine I'll take any orders that happen over the night as the same thing. But we do free patches on Friday. We call it Free Patch Friday. So anybody that orders from the Gear website store, we ultimately appreciate it right now because we're trying to get ourselves to shot with a little less stress with the money stuff. So any purchases from Gear website store on Fridays come with a free patch. And we've also got a deal going where if you buy 5 items or more, we're sending you one of those cast resin mini revolvers. We only have a limited number of that we did for a video back in the olden days. So yeah, we want to encourage everybody who's interested in watching us go to SHOT Show next week and have a little less stress to buy stuff from the store. We're not asking for a handout. We've got stuff over there. Use it as a gift, put it on the wall. And we do appreciate everybody who helps financially support what we're doing here. Yep. With that, I think we've wrapped everything up. We did blow off a topic. We'll pick that up next Friday. And I don't know, Pink, Z, you guys haven't been on for a while. Anything you want to throw out here? We talked about Marine earlier, One Bad Marine. You guys both hung out.
Did I miss something about One Bad Marine, Luke?
Oh yeah, Dano's in here too now. Yeah,
he was a member of the day.
Yeah, I'd like to see him back around.
Me too. He's a good guy. He's good to have around.
Yep.
Truly,
he's actually the one that brought me to the chats themselves. He was more or less the greeter for everybody. He let anybody in his chats.
He would. If I were to give him an official title that only one person could have, it would be the Gun Channel's Walmart greeter.
Yeah. Yeah, it was his chat that I was the first one, or his chat was the first one I was in.
That could be taken several ways, Dano, but
yeah, but we're not.
It's a good way to think about it too, because he did. He really, I think he enjoyed the conversations with people and the concept of everybody using this platform, or the platform of a room like this that an audience could be part of. He really seemed to enjoy all that.
Yep, I got to give him credit. He was great. Like, I loved being in his chats because, I mean, when he found out I was getting close to 500 subs, he just, started pushing everybody he knew to sub me, and I got 500 subs in the next day or so, or I got to 500, but it was like 100 subs in a couple of days. And yeah, he's just a really nice guy. Plus, he likes to fish, so do I. So I still follow him.
He carries a 10 millimeter too, Bob.
Yeah. Well, he carries 3 guns, so yeah.
Yeah.
He's a big guy. He can grow a beard. Woo, woo, woo. Yeah. I don't grow anything like a beard like he does. He grows a beard in like 3 days. It looks like I've been growing one for 6 months.
Well, on that weird beard,
right?
We'll pivot.
Got squirrely at the end there.
I'm at my area.
We're going to pivot and steadily saying we need a Gear website / Amazon collaboration. It's interesting that you said that. I talked to Hosh yesterday, and I think he gave me a lead on that, and I forgot to pursue it today, but I'll try on that again tomorrow or Monday. And yeah, he has an awesome store. If you haven't checked out Hosh's Amazon store, it is really, really cool. And he gave me a lead on how to get one for ourselves. So we're definitely going to look into that. And
yeah.
All right. So I think we're done. Anybody else like to say? Do you guys have anything else?
Just great to be here, and
here, except for Smeggy being passed out drunk. We got all the old hosts in here, all the old hosts that we had to fire. We bring them back once a year. You guys have the opportunity to see it.
That's
this
right.
Is we're getting rid of Bob. This is our way of like doing what do you call it? What do they call that when you person's drunk or a drug addict or whatever?
Intervention.
Yeah, this intervention. I figured it would be less awkward for me and Jimmy if we brought everybody in here to tell Bob he's out of here. Sick of him.
Well, on that note, I'm going to end this with our quote. So there. So today's quote is going to be by Thomas Jefferson. But before that, I just want to remind everybody, please like, share, subscribe. Oh, I should actually like our video. So yeah, like, share, subscribe. We got 29 thumbs up, 30 now. And if you can, support us on Patreon. Why not? What else are you going to do with that money? You might as well give it to us. We will spend it in entertaining ways, believe me. So on that, let's have our quote. Thomas Jefferson. Never spend your money before you've earned it. That's really good advice for everyone. Thanks, everybody, for watching and listening, and we'll see y'all Monday.
The guys and gals of GunWebsites.com encourage you to take a CCW class every year, practice at least once a month, and carry every day. Thanks for watching GunWebsites.com.
Buy things from GearWebsites.com.